amazing, don't you think?
Yep, 6 knock, 6 elimination, perfect knock to elimination conversion, and 1102 damage. That's a huge number if you're going to talk about. And also, follow up with Jane. He also dished out 900 damage with total 5 eliminations. These two guys, which just became a war machine in the previous map. But I think so, why DRS end up in the top 3, there's also a reason because they forced a fight against the players of NB Esports. Because NB Esports got tunnel vision against the players of DRS, and when they got punished by the players of T2K, they got vanished because in that situation they got sandwiched between these two teams, and just after that very moment T2K were very comfortable because from that very angle they secure their sidelines.
To be honest, I think DRS were clearly out of options. What they did, I mean, I'd have even asked my teammates to do that. You need to keep your backlines clear. I think that is something that TUF even did. But taking a quick look at the match summary, it's going to be the players of T2K just taking along and taking over. And 15 eliminations for this entire squad. They've played the best PUBG Mobile there, and quite deservedly, they are over here. But, talking about this particular game, we did witness some early fights. We did see Aegonite getting wiped out of the server by the players of 7th Element, who, in my opinion, were quite impressive in this match as well.
Yep. That is important because, if your previous day wasn't that good, you need to step up on the second, and they actually did. But teams like Gone I8, High Voltage, Leo, Regicide especially, and Maptix, we saw yesterday they had a really good day, but now they just only secure 1 point, and we can say the similar thing for Starboard Esports. I don't like the rotation style of Starboard Esports in this map.
I mean, Starboard, what happened to them was just unlucky, right? It was they had to deal with medical vibes, and the moment I think action sort of got knocked out when your tip of the spear is already broken, what would the others do? And I think for a moment I kind of really liked how ISC started off their game, but did not quite fancy what they did towards the end. You gotta feel for Maptex, I mean, the boys had everything planned. What they did not anticipate was Quantum Rage would just stomp over them for fun and would go on a road rampage, right? But regardless, towards the end, I guess it's kind of a nice fresh breath of fresh air to see some new teams coming up. T2K managing to get the chicken dinner, now are on the 3rd spot, and then you've got TUF making their way into the first page of the table. So that's nice. Also, DRS Gaming, I think they're doing what they have known, and they've just honed their craft, and now they're kind of playing that consistent game for which they're quite famous. But as we venture into the second page now, that is where there are certain teams that well, you can't digest where the position that they're in right now. I think we have to begin with IHC Shivansh.
Maybe it's might be in the 9th position or maybe around 10th, but I am happy that Team TUF stepped up at the very right moment, because I'm happy that our team from the Pakistan region is showcasing something and also a presence in the first page of the overall ranking. But Eliminate Kidu still not leaving the 9th and the 10th department. Confidence also falls down from the 9th position. IHC maintaining that 13th position, which is quite a surprise, with 7th Eliminator 2 position jump just because of this game. They secured a good amount of points from this. And yeah, if you know what, Fixers, if 7th Element just going to play like this, because in this game they secured total 8 eliminations, so this might help them a lot to just improve those points and also just move up in the overall ranking. But don't you think that those early fights might backfire?
I think they should just go for it if they're starting to feel themselves, and that is how I guess the Pakistani teams, and naturally they are in their own habitat, right? You can you do know, right? Pakistan region is quite aggressive, and if you kind of play the game on your own terms, I think that's where you have better chances of winning. But what was quite bizarre in that second half of the table was IHC. They've already played 7 games, and boy oh boy, they just have 3 position points, which is ludicrous, to be honest. I mean, they've been heavily relying on those elims, but I think they need to adopt the Fumerical Vibes way, because Fumerical Vibes sitting at 93 points, 30 points separating from the 2nd spot. They look nigh unstoppable over here. But as we march into the second game of day number 2, it is going to be Miramar overall match number 8. And Shivansh, I think I'm really thankful to the production that they have not kept that really crappy predictions, which we kind of did not want to do because eventually we ended up jinxing the teams.
Yeah.
So, but still, if you just have to, make a prediction, or if you want to be a little choosy of who do you want to win in this game.
Can I just select the region? That'll be like more safe. Can I just go for a safe play?
No,
Just-
no, that's not gonna. I mean, you don't have to make a prediction. You're not gonna get
Okay,
anything for winning. But of course, you could, bring in your personal bias over here. You could just support some of your teams. Maybe somebody who's struggling and you just want to see them win back into their good old days.
I think so. The team like Quantum Rage and also High Voltage, because these are the teams which always get better after they had a bad game. They always work on their mistakes and they tend to fire back very heavily onto those opponents. So I'll go with Quantum Rage and High Voltage to perform good on the second map, and that's going to be Miramar. And also they're very comfortable on Miramar. We have seen them not dodging any fight. They're just going all in. If they feel it, they just go for it.
Okay, alright, so Shivansh has gone in for Quantum Rage, a team with a lot of potential, and for High Voltage DC, a team that has been pretty much playing very well but did not have the best of starts. So I think questions on consistency over here. But for you viewers, you let us know, who do you want to win this Miramar game and why? Because honestly, we've got a lot of experts coming on the chat. Everybody's just, keyboarding their way, why they think their team deserves this win. Let us know who do you support and why, of course. But for me personally, I really want IHC to win this, man, because seeing them right from the nimble stages, watching them, claim the highest accolades, and seeing this massive fall, especially when they've got such a stacked roster. I mean, you can't just say that Alex and Demo are not good players, right? They've also delivered. But what's going on? I think they're having quite lousy IGLing, because that sort of position points for IHC is really not acceptable by my standards. I'm pretty sure they're doing quite decent when it comes down to getting into fights, indulging themselves, where they kind of really have that potential to control the situation. But apart from that, Shivansh, I think they've been missing out. Again with IHC, I would like to see Aegon I8 getting a chicken, because this is again one of those teams. I mean, aren't they the saviors of Pakistan, PUBG Mobile? Pretty much whenever it comes about PUBG Mobile Pakistan, Aegon I8, they have been quite synonymous. But the style of play hasn't been. I think lately there have been a lot of buzz around a lot of things going astray around their roster. We're not going to talk about that, but seems like that is impacting their way of play.
Certainly is, and they still need to find their main ground and the core play style, because if you're struggling here, you won't get a good amount of chances because this is a 4-day affair and we are in the second day, right? After these games, we will complete 50% of this championship. So you have to be with your A game today. And if we talk about the plane trajectory, it starts from the northern side of Impala and heading towards the northwestern side of Valadima. Yesterday we saw a decent type of plane path, almost a similar type of plane path, but it starts from the western side. This time it starts from the eastern side. But I have one more thing to talk about, and that is the zone shift. The first zone, yesterday, when I was casting the second game, I saw a circle in which power grid was a really important area to hold on, and it just moved towards the top side of water treatment. So if the team's going to play around these areas and the circle forms just right on top of them, so they'll be very happy. They might enjoy their vacation if none of the teams just try to force them for a fight. But for now, teams are moving forward. They are just trying to drop near their drop location. Not exactly trying, they're just having a good time. And the circle is again a northern circle, but this time it's favoring the eastern side of the map. IHC, as his Fixers mentioned, he needs a good game from them. And this might be the one game in which IHC could shine. because look at the circle. First of all, the circle is favoring them. They are in Al Hassar. None of the team is trying to, just poke them or go for an early fight. So they are having a good time from the early start. I am sure about that. But they need to focus on those rotations. They have to be careful of those mid-game shenanigans which other teams try to do.
Oh, of course. I mean, considering how the circle has really, formed, it's been quite a while since I got to witness Eastern Zone, right? Majorly, we've seen a lot of Miramar circles happening around that southern areas. But for now, I think IHC, this could and should be their game to win, right? And at this point, DRS just charging in at 7th element and well. I mean, Ashad already getting the better out of one player. Delta does manage to take the trade, but Divine comes in due time. And this is a huge blunder by DRS. I cannot seem to process the reason why they kind of decided to go in there. Were they unaware of 7th element? Of course, I mean, this has been the go-to drop location for DRS. It has been challenged. It's fine, but that was pretty much just a gift of 2 points, and now the other two players of DRS, they're under dire circumstances.
And they also got a buggy. And also some loot too. But yeah, to be honest, one thing is sure that 7th element, they are very good in those early stages. Fight. It depends that what type of weapon they have, what type of loadout they have, but they just need to be a bit careful when they are any team just need to be a bit careful when they are going against a team like 7th element, because they're just ruthless. It doesn't matter. They sometimes they have a nothing to lose mindset, and just because of that one particular mindset, I think so they're just popping off very perfectly. For now, you can't say the same thing for DRS. DRS lost 2 of their players, and very important players, Kyante and Delta. They are out of the lob. Now it all comes down to Killer Whitey and Boots. This was the same situation for Egon I8 in the previous game, and they got punished by the players of 7th element. I don't think so that 7th element just going to do the same against DRS, because they respect them a lot, and they knows that if they're going to do something like this, they might get punished. The plan might backfire. So they're just heading towards their fortification, and they are just moving in a back. For now, fixes. If we talk about IHC, right? They have a good drop location. They are enjoying their stay in Al Hassar. But what do you think? Like, on which side do they move after they are done with their looting, or should they move, or they just should follow the zone rotation?
I really honestly feel that IHC should just go after Team Magnus over here, because fairly, to be honest, Magnus haven't been performing really well. I wasn't pretty impressed with how they played during the league stages. I kind of haven't seen much out of them even in the grand final. So I'd see for them Magnus should be an easy target. They should take over the hills, because from watching a circle like this, there have been very rare occurrences that kind of goes towards Azahar, right? And having a high ground in Miramar kind of pays you off in dividends. So right now for IHC, what they need to do is just find out where finishers Ibyan Rollin are, and one after the other, just take them down, because I'm pretty sure at a point sooner or later even T2K might want to be a part of this, and slowly but surely, as you can see even on the map feed, Magnus, they're kind of getting sandwiched. I'm starting to wonder if they have any idea of that.
They don't, they might get punished. They need to be careful, and I think so they should be aware of that too, because they had a good outing, not a good exactly, but a decent outing in the league stage, and they are aware of the play style of other teams, so should be aware that which type of rotations and what type of rotation other teams can do. So let's see how this map is going to pan out for them. And I'm still looking out for the team I eliminate and also the high voltage, because I've already made my choice when you asked me a question that what do you think which team will win this game. For now, Quantum Rage also. Quantum Rage, they are having a good time. They are near the Cruise the very area, and they have these vehicles, and I just saw that they also have good amount of loot, so I think they are ready for any fight. But they need to be careful of that zone because we all know these Miramar northern zones are really weird.
Oh, I think that has been the case pretty much, because whenever we see that northern zone forming, I think kind of you're hoping water treatment or some other areas around that. But I think this is gonna be a different one. I mean, of course, I'd love to see the zone go towards Crew de Valle, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Now, Quantum Rage again. This has been one of those teams who's kind of got that switch, right? Sometimes they turn it on, and you see that the third partying, they're engaging in fights really well. I mean, there have been days where I can say that once they had IQ, Quantum Rage felt like a complete team. Ever since IQ went into Aegon I8, things haven't really been the same for this squad, right? I mean, because IQ, he was such a wonderful support player. When Aegon I8 were going through a very tumultuous situation where Crypto parted ways with them, and he went to a different region to play. I think he came in, and I can be honest that I think IQ filled Crypto's shoes pretty well. If not if not to Crypto's extent, but I think for a young rookie who's been called out a prodigy, I think he did justice to himself. But then again, when you look at Quantum Rage right now, Shivansh, they kind of, I kind of feel that they missed a little bit of panache, that little edge that's needed to be one of the best in South Asia. I think they need to dig a little deeper, and it's not just about, it's not just about Quantum Rage. I think the same goes for every Pakistani teams, because when it comes down to AC Championship, I mean, for God's sake, Pakistan has their own PMPL. We're not seeing them step their foot on a firm ground. We're not seeing the results that we feel they should deliver.
They're missing out. They're missing out the opportunity, and that's not good for them. But I hope some teams will just understand the positioning and also the circumstances and just improve. Expectation from UF are very huge and also similar with Quantum Rage, but Homemaker Vibes not just gonna allow these opponents to just move away, but they need to be careful because there's still a player around them. He's the Houdini, and between the players of Homemaker Vibes, hiding inside those sands. But he will survive. Yeah, Homemaker Vibes wasn't aware that there's a player in him, so he was very silent. So he will just live another day. That's a good sign for the team DUF, because now they can just move with a pack. Now they can just work like a pack too, because every single one of them are still alive. But this map is slow. Other than the DRS2 picks, we haven't seen anything yet. What's been fired by Refuse, trying, but none connect.
Yeah, I think this is one of those circles, I guess, we anticipated, and I'm kind of wondering sometimes I should be gloating about it or not. My predictions are coming true, aren't they? Like, I mean, of course, we kind of did talk about IHC should be taking over spot that Magnus are holding, those hilly areas, and yeah, exactly, that's where we are headed. And we've seen this, years of casting this game kind of gives you that hunch that yeah, the circle might go down there, and it actually does. So I think for every talent, it's kind of a moment of pride, to be honest, low-key. But yeah, talking about this game right now, Magnus, I think they seem to have rendezvoused, and they're at the epicenter of this zone. This is where I feel that they should have taken a little more control, a little more ground. But staying clustered together, yeah, it has its own benefits. But Aegon I8, I kind of like their spread. They're kind of on the eastern side. They've got nobody on their backs, at least for now. And they've got some nice hilly control. Now, let's say the circle takes a curveball towards the eastern side, and this is pretty much Aegon I8's game. I don't see a world where they throw this one out. But slowly and surely, Quantum Rage, they're closing in. Now, if Aegon I8 aren't watching over their northeast side, they might be in a little world of trouble, as IHC, having spotted out the players of Leo Esports, seems like IHC might just be having too much on their plates. Look at this rally over here by NB Esports.
Wow. They're just trying to rotate with in a heroic style, but I didn't think so. That the players of IHC will allow that. And yes, Godless the one who secured that pick. The Beast was already lost one of their man, and they are still trying to run away. But look at that. As just mentioned about the positioning of Egon I8, one more team can try to just pinch them, and that's going to be the team which is still on the top, and that's going to be 4 Medical Vibes. They can just pinch them from the southern side, and Conquer Rage can go for the pinch too from the northern side. So now the team Egon I8, they have to be careful, and they need a good amount of support when they are taking those fights. But NB Esports, they escaped from the wrath of Team IHC, but they end up against Team DRS. And we all know DRS is the scariest team when they suffer, and whenever they don't have a good amount of lead, and now they are scary. Look at that, they already secured one pick, and what was that action? Lost his life against the players of Leo. He gave it? That's a free pick, by the way.
Yeah, they just came, they took him down, sweep the floor, and Starward, they find themselves in a lot of hurt and pain right now, in their agony. T2K wanting to just add insult to their injury over there. I mean, at this point, again a quite shabby performance, I must say, from Starwood's side. Losing out on action, he has to work on his positioning, as this time Starwood escaping from one area, landing in their own graves. Seems like could be the case, as Nirzed, he's also been spotted out, and Godless usually does not miss his mark with those grenades, and being tossed over. Nirzed almost survived with a sliver of HP, but just like that, Phoenix, Starwood are the first team to get eliminated.
That's the worst dream. I think they are living in a nightmare. The previous map, they end up in the 10th position with only one finish point, and now they're the first team. Wow, things change. So as the rotation of other teams too. High voltage. Now they got punished by the players of 7th Element. And 7th Element, it seems like they're going for the circle and also close against the distance against the players of high voltage. Dude, I love this team now, Fixers. I like their play style. Just ruthless and reckless.
I mean, they're the ones causing all the chaos, aren't they? And we love that. We love that for to happen. Somebody to kind of go out of their comfort zone. As now Prabeen, he's under a lot of bullets as they're being rained shard upon him. As T24 OP finds it off. Oh, Viper. He shows his head, and what on earth was a shot doing over there, lying on the ground under the sun, basking in the heat. But eventually, I think Tokusaurus needs to figure out a way to kind of get that knock on Woofus so that Divine can trigger that revive on a shard.
High voltage on the other side got pinched. It got sandwiched between the players of I8 and also 7th Element. Apologies for that. Eliminated crew enjoys those two frags, and now they're just moving forward. This is a really good fight for them. This certainly works, but now they need to focus on the circle because they are almost 300 meters far away from that. From the other side, trying to pinch and also punish 7th Element. They are here to enjoy the party, but someday you don't have a good amount of backup. You should fall back on the area. IHC is also taking quite a bit of POE. Every single one of them is fighting outside the safe zone. I don't think so that's a good idea, but if it's working out for you, just go for it.
Yeah, if it ain't broken, no need to fix it. But Sandesh, that's a message of death, perhaps, as he connects it. Opens it up again. 7th Element as Tokusaurus falls into his demise. To the mercy of the players of T2K. Right now, Ashad, he's stuck in a really bad spot with the players of Illuminate crew barely surviving with a tinker of HP. Eventually, Viper just puts him out of his misery over there. I mean, Ashad, we've seen him get caught in those really rough spots. As now, TUF decide to knock in on I8's doors, where Illuminate crew Nova. That it's more guarding him, protecting him, but that one grenade from Thor did some massive amount of damage. Surely does have Woofus to kind of provide the support, but look at H2SO4 over there, he's trying to build that flank. And if he can succeed in his endeavors, illuminate crew, they might be in a whole world of trouble.
Yeah, if Eliminate Crew to try to charge onto the players of TUF, M7 can also quite a good amount of cover because he has that high ground advantage. Although he is a bit far away from Thor and also from away the back, but he can still put up a good fight. Viper, Nova, Woofies, every single one of them are sticking together, and I think so. Woofies just try to pull out at least go for an individual fight. Both the players for an individual fight. Sky, that was the beautiful run over, a beautiful way to start the fight, and also distraction in which TUF just fell down, and now they are facing the brunt. Lost 2 players, and they stuck in a handicap situation. Fixes.
Oh, surely they are, but I loved what Illuminate Crew did over there. I mean, they were like, just chuck it. You know, we're just going in, driving over the players, running them down. And, you know, these were the moments that I was pretty much missing. It was a rather slow start, but isn't slow anymore, is it? As now T2K, Illuminate Crew, T2K, of course, in a better position, have that high ground advantage where Illuminate Crew can capitalize the moment T2K decide to go into the push. But seems like Opus is already being dealt with. Sky, he's one of the final players surviving as T2K seem to be wiping the floor against Illuminate Crew.
Is looking good for Eliminate Crew, but if Sky goes down, no, it's going to be the final man. He needs to be careful, should be aware of surroundings. He's going all insane. Just gave every single point. In fact, he just helped his teammate gave his opposite position. But T2K every single time, whenever they are in a struggle, they always hit pins or got sandwiched of the third party by a team. But Rick, that was a beautiful spray. He just survived. He healed himself up back to 75. Needs to be careful because Wally and 7K just charging onto him. Barrage of grenades also falling up. Rick trying his best with the M416 with the red dot, but he falls apart. No way. Before this one fight fixes, they have been having a good story, but it came to an end.
You know, I'm loving this play, Rig. I kind of, feel that he's in the zone. He's in the mood. But surely Mabitex had other thoughts in their mind. They dealt with him. But right now, as the circle is dictating, I think we kind of see a lot of cluster around the Surgeon side. We've got for Medical Vibes just beside TUF, Mabitex, T2K, of course, they've been done with. So, Agonite, they're holding on to a decent compound. DRS, in the meanwhile, considering they just survived by 2 players, they're doing pretty decent. Have a good spot inside the circle and also do have a compound to defend. But for now, Magnus, I think they're going after multiple squads over here. Switches to Scarrel, and Liquid gets the final blow delivered right on his face as DOE spots. They're eliminated out of this game.
Yeah. They are not in a good position at all, but Finisher needs to be careful because he needs to patch himself up as soon as possible. Otherwise, he might get taken down by the players of IFT, and that's what happens. Demo spots him out and instantly finishes him off, rips his head apart, and he is just gonna regroup with his teammate now. IHC with total 6 elimination. Fixers wanted them to rise, and they are just showcasing that. And I am sure Fixers, they are just going to create a lot of havoc in this match because this is just the start for IHC.
Whoa, look at that. East for Medical Vibes. A really important game. And so far, they've been kind of a little bit silent. Just 5 finishes to their name, which is quite acceptable. I mean, the way they have been playing lately. And the best part about for Medical Vibes these days is they're keeping majority of their players alive. Seems like he has nothing to worry about anymore as Refuse. He also deals with the players of 7th Element. So for Medical Vibes, pretty much clearing the sidelines, ensuring that there's nobody on their backlines as Apex. I mean, he's out on a mission. He's on a warpath. He's surrounded by ND Esports. He's got Aegon I8 right in front of him. I think a lot of information being collected for Medical Vibes. I'm pretty curious to see how they act on it.
Yeah. The best part is they also have a good amount of map control, but I am still amazed the way DR is playing. They're just being silent from a very long, and that's the same case for Aegon I8. But Rock got spotted out by Jesse, and he might just finish him off instantly, but he has a good amount of cover. Doc can survive. Doc can just live a bit long. And look at the circle shift fixes. Two teams who have good amount of control of the compounds which are inside the circle. It's gonna be DRS and Agon I8, and they just got a little bit under advantage by the PUBG gods.
Oh yeah, of course, they certainly did. And you know, this is the RNG of the game, right? And can't really help it.
Yeah.
If it comes, if the gods bless you up, then you're lucky. Otherwise, you have to carve your way. There are certain teams kind of also fancy the second choice, but for now, NB Esports, they've already lost out on Akaza and Fistboy. Still have Sek, their star player, but he needs to show up. He needs to show up big time. And this is not the usual NB Sports we are watching them anymore. I think the pressure is just too much for them to handle, because NB Sports so far into the game, yeah, positioning wise they're doing pretty decent, but what happened to their elimination numbers as IHC decide to barge in on the doors of DRS, rules. Alright, that was just a smoke. It was all a ruse. But for now, rules and killer, I think they really need to watch out, play on the crossfires, as Godless trying to isolate one. I think that's the idea. You know, keep rules at bay as they go after killer. Now this could be a really genius move.
Might help them to, at least clear out players of TRS Gaming, and Rule needs to be careful. He's hiding inside the container. Zero on the other side got punished from a different angle, and that's going to be Quantum Rage just punishing the players of IHC just trying to play in an open area. Meanwhile, Magnus also trying to rotate against the players of IHC. Alex took down one, spots out another. Needs to be careful. Fall down slowly. Very less HP. Goes for the reload. But why? Sipian punishes him and also forcing him to just fall back. What was that, IHC? You threw it away, and Quantum Rage stole the kill of Magnus. What is going on?
This is literally mental over here. Quantum Rage just getting into their old shenanigans. They love to third party, don't they? I mean, as long as you're getting those elimination points, I'm not gonna complain, as well, Rules decide to just expose himself over there, as Godless does have the Grodza, and he will just run through the squad of DRS. Now imagine, had they had two more players over there, surely could have been in a fighting position, but now Quantum Rage decide the bells are tolling. This is the moment they need to, go in for the push. Goku trying to provide that quintessential cover fire, as the two players, Quantum Rages, they've kind of tried to build up, try to push in Godless from different sides, just trying to pincer him down. And now this is where things get really interesting, as Godless comes out of his cover. He's the one trying to aggress over there, as the entire cavalry of Quantum Rage comes pushing in.
Yeah, just robbing out those grenades, at least just, punish him, at least get a knock, and that's going to just help them to get an opportunity to push at the final player of IHC. Godless is still surviving. I am amazed the way he's playing, switching out his position again and again and confusing his opponents that where he is, hiding behind that little box, but every single one of them from Quantum Race, they are here. Meanwhile, MB Esports take the fight against the 4 MB, and they are winning it. LC knocks out Demo. It all comes down to Godless. He needs to showcase a godly performance, but he will not. Quantum Rage eliminated IHC, who secured 9 eliminations. That was a good performance from this, right?
Yeah, still some work needs to be done in terms of how they position themselves. They kind of are trying to just go rampant, right? Get all the lames in this game and get the job done. I think that's the mantra for IHC. Seems like the soup that they're trying to brew is not really working out. I think they need to focus that. I think maybe for Medical Vibes way is just the better one, as two players of Mavitex decide to close in on East, who seems to be all by his lonesome, and no problem for Kessie, as does not make it out in time, as he also gets dealt with, as Mavitex managed to eliminate the leaderboard toppers. For Medical Vibes, they bite the dust at the 5th position, but with still a decent number of kills to them.
Yesterday saw that Medical Vibe stole a chicken dinner from team Maptex.
Yeah.
That this was the map. It was Miramar. Maptex were like, you know what? This is gonna be our game, and we will shine with quantum rage. What these guys are doing,
Nice job.
Senior with a literally good position, he secures a knock, but this will allow them to just move forward. They need to be careful of other teams who in the esports they are closer.
Oh,
Also the
nice.
Maptex, but Goku is going for a heroic move. He might fall down, but Halsey with
That's
a
clear.
beautiful amount of cover being provided to his teammate. Goku looking out for another opening, quick to the S12K, fighting a lot of squad amount of damage. He needs to be careful, and he was in Wally secures a pick, and now it all comes down to the final player of Quantum Rage. Halsey falls down. It's going to be Senior, who is very far away from his team.
No, this is some sublime stuff by Quantum Rage, but few mistakes being made. Tantanatan needs to go in for the push against Leone, but that does not work out as he gets dealt with, and Mabitex, by the skin of their teeth, they somehow survive with Senior, the last solo survivor, coming in into their aid as Leone still needs to seal the deal. Needs to deal with the final player, but seems like Sek has spotted him out in the open with nowhere to run and hide. Sek gets the job done as Quantum Race, they survive as Aegon I8. They were sitting silent, waiting and in deep slumber. Seems like they have awoken as they have the man advantage. They have a good control over the circle. All they need to do is deal with the players of NB Esports and maybe the final player of Quantum Rage. I think still Quantum Rage would want to get their players back up. I think they've done a decent job, and that has played. It's quite surprising rather that he kind of is missing his praise these days. I mean, he's one of the most accomplished aimers in the region, and this by Blade standard, I think it's the pressure that's starting to creep in.
Yeah, exactly.
Team
The pressure
possession.
just that's okay. Dominance, but one to secure the break point for another, and that overcommitment might just forced him to lose out another player. But Sek, okay, it was quick, and I think so. It was Mondo who denied that. He was like, you know what, just go all in. But after I thought that this would be a good idea to just punch onto the players of NB Esports, and they eliminated them. It's gonna be the final player from Quantum Rage who just right behind use him. We didn't spot him out, but actually his teammate was there. Gave them a good amount of support, and Aegon I8 secures the chicken dinner fixes. What a turnaround!
Yeah, you know, this was really expected. The moment they're taken over those eastern compounds pretty quick. Quickly after the second shift the circle and them so this was a very desperate move. I think they had been silent throughout the game. They finally just woke up in the end phases, and those three eliminations. But